Hello and welcome to Business Today. I'm Karishma Asudani, and today I bring you a special podcast series on ground. I'm in Andhra Pradesh, where we explode into the world of Andhra Pradesh 360 from Bharat to the global world. And we're discussing the crux of what keeps the state prominent, not just on the Indian map, but also globally, is the sector agriculture. To talk more about this, I'm joined by Mr. Shri Budithi Rajsekhar, Special Chief Secretary, Agriculture, Government of Andhra Pradesh. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. It's a pleasure to speak with you, of course, on ground in the state. Let me begin by asking you, in a world that's currently battling tariff situation, tough geopolitical moves, where do you see the sector, industry, agriculture moving forward for Andhra Pradesh with its strong upcoming policies and reforms?
Thank you, Karishma. First and foremost, I would like to place on record that AP is perhaps one of the few states which has cracked this issue of GSDP and GVA. In fact, today I can confidently say that GSDP, GVA, which are, not many economic students may not fully understand, is a household issue today. That is because of the campaign on the Swarnandhra 2047 vision. We have taken these concepts to the last mile. This is important because normally the growth rates, the GSDP, etc., are seen as something which are spoken only at the highest level, maybe in the CM's conference and national workshops. But it is essential that the public, the common man, should be also understand these concepts because they are the real prime movers. And today in Andhra, because of the peculiar situation that we are in, because of the state bifurcation, of course, it's 10 years old already, but still, that has changed the entire complexion of the economy of the state. Today you see Telangana, which relies only on agriculture, just about 8% for the GSDP growth rate. Whereas in Andhra, primary sector as a whole, primary sector I mean agriculture, horticulture, fisheries and livestock, together accounts for 35% of the GSDP, which means
State GDP.
State GDP. So unless primary sector, at least for the next, I would say, more than 6-7 years, still Amravati comes into being and services sector grows, new investments come in the manufacturing sector, this economy will still depend on the primary sector for its growth. And our Honorable CM has given us a mandate to grow at more than 15% to achieve the desired objective of increasing the per capita income to about more than 50 lakhs, per capita income in 2047. If that has to be achieved, the economy has to grow at more than 50% year on year. Why I'm saying this is because it is in this context that the primary sector becomes extremely important. And so far, primary sector, if you look at agriculture, horticulture, it is seen mostly as a event management. That is, you begin your year every year with supplying seeds, and then monsoons come, cyclones come, then you give input subsidy, fertilizer supply. So it is mostly event driven. Honorable CM of Andhra Pradesh, for the first time, he has, by stressing on the concepts of GVA, growth rate, and why it is important to grow at 15% growth rate. Today that's being discussed at the village level. Why we need 15% growth rate and what does that 15% growth rate actually mean at the field level? So I think I would say Andhra, most of us, even in a sector like primary sector, uh, I would say these are inspiring times because I've worked in government for nearly 33 years now, and it's always been, where is the budget? And if there's no budget, there's no work. So that's the mindset of the entire bureaucracy. You give me money, I'll do it. Today, I think why I'm saying inspiring times is because everything is now flipped into looking at not exactly on money part, but it's on the how does the this GSDP GVA gives you a purpose. It's not events. It's not just by doing events, but it is gives purpose to the departments as to why we are doing certain things. I'll just give you one example. I keep giving this for my last mile functionaries to understand. Today in livestock, which contributes 2 lakh crores to the GSDP, is basically as per the statistics, it's just about meat, egg, and milk.
Right.
Nobody really understands, even some of us, even at the highest level, never used to understand where these figures are coming from. Today, thanks to our Honorable Chief Minister and a lot of insights being or a lot of discussion happening on this, today we understand that these figures are coming from certain formulas and how that formula actually can be translated to the lowest level. And so what it means at the cutting edge to say that you contribute so much to the GSDP. So the functionary at the lowest level, which we call the Raitu Seva Kendram, RSK.
Yeah.
At the RSK level, the government functionary today knows he is doing these 4-5 activities, because by doing these 4-5 activities, he'll be contributing X amount of to the GSDP. It's not event. So, so why we are doing a particular foot and mouth disease campaign? If you don't do it, so many animals are going to die. So many animals going to die actually means so much of reduction in your GSDP,
Impacting
in your
the
GVA,
economy.
in the economy, and eventually it affects the whole economy, and you'll not be able to grow at 15% growth rate, which means you'll not be able to achieve that high per capita income, which is the ultimate goal.
Fantastic. What a time to be able to discuss the state GDP also. Of course, that you mentioned, it's the core crux of discussion for you, but also the center now planning in preparations of its next budget, and that holds a lot of importance also for a strong state and ally like Andhra Pradesh. But when you say 35% contribution from the from the primary sector, and about a 15% growth rate that you are targeting, say by 2047, what is your aim? How much could the agri sector contribute to the state GDP?
See, by 2047, the dependence on the primary sector should come down. But that's how all over the world, the development should more come from the services sector and the manufacturing sector. Your dependence on the primary sector should naturally come down. So from 35% by 2047, it should be somewhere between 18 to 20%. Today, the national GVA contribution of primary sector is 18%. So, and that is below 18%, is considered as, because the GVA from primary sector is risk ridden. You've seen, just one day the tariffs announced by US president, shook the whole industry. And today, because of frequent climate change related events, the risk is actually going up.
Yeah.
So, for if you're looking at a macroeconomic situation, I think the governments will be comfortable with lesser dependence on primary sector and more on services sector. And for example, today Hyderabad contributes more than 50% of the GSDP of the state, because of the city. One city contributes the whole more than 50% of the GSDP. So I think that's the aim of once Amaravati city develops, the capital city develops, the obviously the tourism goes up, you get airports, so a lot of service related growth really happens. So but from a primary sector perspective, one thing nobody should miss the point is that, as I keep saying, there's no chocolate industry without cocoa. There's no, you don't get rice bran oil from vacuum. You need to first have rice. So primary sector, in one sense, as a raw material providing GSDP, will come down, but it is still essential because you need to have the raw fish, raw shrimp to do value addition. So I think nobody should miss that point about the importance of primary sector.
Okay. Andhra Pradesh has housed a lot of titles in your kitty, the horticulture hub of India, also the rice bowl of India. Now, you are also, of course, implementing the world's largest, ecological natural farming program in agriculture. Could you share some contours of this program?
Before that, Honorable CM came up with 5 principles which form the basis for the strategies for growth rates in the primary sector. The first is water availability. So a lot of investments happening in the water resources department to ensure there is water. So when it rains, you capture water, and during normal times you use that water. So therefore, the one principle that we have is we should ensure that there are no droughts in the state.
Right.
And that's the management of the water resources to ensure that water is available. So the first of the 5 principles is water availability. Second, most important, from where we derive this strategy for trying to make Rayalaseema as the global horticulture hub, is demand-based farming. Today, the farmers mostly, of course, they also look at markets, they look at rates, but it is more on some gut feeling that they raise a particular crop. What we are saying is, let's leverage the deep tech that's available today. Today we have AI. We can predict so using that deep tech, how do we ensure that the farmers grow as per the demand of the markets? So today the eating habits are changing. So I as a South Indian, we used to have 3 meals of rice every day. Today I just have 1 meal. People are shifting to more protein based food. So if farmers continue to raise paddy, there'll be no market for that.
Fair enough.
So the second important principle is demand-based crop planning. So we are looking at what is the markets actually asking for. And then we give back that information to the farmer saying, next year, because of this geopolitical situations, this demand for this may come down. Demand for, say, for example, maize. Maize today is being used for ethanol production. Ethanol is being blended with fuel.
Yeah.
So that's a big market. Ethanol processing plants are coming up in the state. They require maize. Earlier, maize was grown only for feed industry. So these are the some of the information data that's lacking for some farmers sitting in some interior village. So we are leveraging technology to provide through a farmer app. We'll be telling all this information to the farmer, and of course, at least he is going to sow a crop by taking an informed choice.
Yeah.
We want every farmer to do that. He should know not just the local market situation, but the state, national, international situation, and then take a call as to which is the best crop.
And when I just talk specifically on the natural farming point of view, how are you ensuring that the climate resilience part of it is also taken care of?
Yeah. So natural farming becomes extremely important because the 1960s Green Revolution changed the whole paradigm of agriculture to a very crop intensive agriculture, because with high inputs, because we wanted to feed the whole country instead of importing even the basic food from outside. So it was extremely intensive farming, monocropping.
Yeah.
But today, after 60 years, the situation has changed. We are not importing food. In fact, we are now exporting. Rice, wheat, everything to the world. So, but the practices have remained the same. So we are saying there is an urgent need to change those practices, because this intensive farming for the last 60 years has actually harmed the environment, the soil, and therefore there is need for looking at regenerative agriculture or agroecology, different terms for natural farming. And for the last 8 years, one retired IAS officer, Mr. T. Vijay Kumar, he has dedicated his life to understand this regenerative agriculture, and he started with non-pesticides management, NPM agriculture. So basically saying, let's reduce the usage of pesticides, chemical pesticides. And from there, once we got into more of the knowledge that is available on regenerative agriculture all over the globe, today our AP, we call it AP Community Managed Natural Farming. That's our project. And we have a dedicated organization to do that, unlike other states. No state has a dedicated organization to do natural farming. Basically, it's a behavioral change. So we are telling farmers to reduce usage of chemicals and move into a farming which doesn't require external inputs. So that's the whole emphasis in natural farming, wherein we are saying, yes, in the first 1 year, there could be, but we have several instances where there are no drop in yields. People generally believe that once you move to organic or natural farming, there is a fall in the yields.
Right.
And therefore, this fear that if the whole country moves into a natural farming paradigm, we may have shortages of foods.
Exactly.
And everybody quotes the example of Sri Lanka. Overnight, they've shifted to organic, and then everybody got, the nation got into a big crisis. But the Sri Lankan example is not the right example. We are not saying overnight. Even after 8 years of intensive strategy to motivate farmers to understand the concept and change. It's not we are not giving some subsidy to convert them.
Right.
We are telling these are the benefits of natural farming. health, environment, reduction in your cost of cultivation. So even if there is a reduction in the yields, some reduction in yields, the farmer makes out because the cost of cultivation has come down, his net income goes up.
Oh,
so end of the day, that's what farmer is looking for. He should be compensated for his efforts.
Yeah.
So natural farming ensures by reduction in cost of cultivation, which is less than 50% or even 60% of the chemical farming, because you don't use any inputs.
Got it.
So your net income goes up. So we are saying the prosperity per acre goes up. So we brought in a new concept in Andhra,
okay,
where all over the globe, everybody in agriculture sector talks about one KPI, which is yield per acre.
Yield per acre.
Yeah, because if productivity goes up, your production goes up, because the land is constant, it doesn't grow. So the whole objective in the primary sector, in the agriculture sector, is how do you increase productivity of crops so that for the same land, you keep increasing the production, because you have to feed many more mouths now from the same land. We are saying that leads to a lot of problems, because of the intensive, you have to put more external inputs, which means the cost of cultivation goes up. So we are saying we've changed that. We flipped that KPI from yield per acre to prosperity per acre. We are saying how can we ensure, how do we maximize the prosperity of the farmer per acre?
Okay.
So we bring in, which means it's not a monocrop anymore. We bring in biodiversity. Today, in about an acre of land, farmers are growing 32 varieties of crops. 32.
Oh.
And we have a model called ATM, just like Anytime Money. It's called ATM because it gives income throughout the year.
Okay.
Farming is basically you sow today and reap after 130 days, 140 days, depending on the crop cycle. But because you have vegetables, you have fruits, you have all sorts of things in the 32 varieties, you get greens within a week. You sell that. You put, you keep changing that crop, then your tomatoes are ready, then your radishes are ready. So you get income throughout the day. In 20 cents, this ATM model, in 20 cents, the farmers get about 25,000 per month.
I want to subtly plug this in. Last time I spoke to Chief Minister of the state, he's mentioned to me about the 99 paise land, and today you have told me about this prosperity per acre. Quite millennial schemes out there that is keeping the state flowing, sir, isn't it?
Yeah, must be. That's because we constantly update ourselves with the best practices happening elsewhere. Our Chief Minister pushes us to leverage technology. Today, we have chatbots and etc. to help the farmer, giving local specific, in fact hyper local specific advisories to farmers. Not just the general thing, but extremely hyper local data we get, and then we give such advisories to farmers. And as I've said, our objective is to, as I've said, improve the prosperity per acre, and one of the ways of doing it, because today one element which is increasing day by day is the labor cost.
Yeah.
And we find in particularly commercial crops, it's huge. And therefore, any amount of even price benefit by way of increased sort of demand is getting offset because of the high cost of cultivation. So the natural farming comes in seamlessly into the strategy, because the whole aim is to reduce the cost of cultivation. So you have all the benefits of increased yields plus the reduced cost of cultivation, which means your higher net income.
Got it. You also spoke a bit about the chatbots and AI, and I just want to plug this in. Is there also skepticism or some kind of apprehension, nervousness among the farmers on using technology, or are they okay with this adaptation?
I think farmers also have realized, farmers are, like any other consumer today, are also using, apps has become a sort of, a commonality for everybody. I mean, it's from the moment you get up, you're actually moving from one app to the other.
Right.
So farmer as a consumer is also doing that. So we are saying, let's use similar apps for your livelihood. Your livelihood is agriculture. You are using, say, a Swiggy app to get some tiffin for your family. Similarly, let's use an app to understand, what are the prices, what are the future prices of your crop, how do you handle a pest. In fact, today we are in a position to notify a farmer about likely pest infestation of his crop. Because what we have done is, we from the universities, we have found out what are the conditions at which, for which a particular pest gets invested in a crop. Say moisture level, wind, all these contribute. We have that historical data with us.
Okay.
So with historical data and getting predictive data, so in say next week, there's a likelihood of similar conditions prevailing.
Okay.
So there is a 60, 70% or 80% probability of this pest coming up.
Oh.
We will give that information 1 week to 10 days prior.
To them, and that kind of helps them plan better.
And then they go to that particular spot. They can use other apps to identify what could be the pest. Use a chatbot to understand, what are the precautions that one needs to be taken. And then if it is more than the ETL of that particular pest, you can go in for a drone to actually spray your entire field.
Does this practically happen?
It is happening.
Oh, and
so in Andhra, in fact, there's an increased usage of drone for particularly pesticide spraying, because pesticide spraying not only expensive because it's labor intensive kind of activity, plus it is dangerous. The guy who actually sprays is inhaling all the dangerous chemicals.
Yeah.
And drone replaces that. So on two counts, drone actually, even if you take the health considerations, I think the drone cost per acre comes down drastically.
Okay. So as we come to the end of this interview, I have one quick last question, and this is to address the elephant in the room, which is Andhra's aquaculture and the impact it has had because of the US tariffs. Now, I know that Chief Minister himself has also put this out vocally, loudly to the center, that shrimps industry has suffered majorly. I want to know, as per the on-ground situation, especially on the export side of it, do you think the situation is stable now?
Yeah, in fact, I'll give you one figure which actually says everything, which is the second quarter of this year. The GVA for fisheries has actually grown the most. The highest growth rate, we got about 26%.
Despite the tariffs?
Despite the tariffs. 26% growth rate in the fisheries sector. And one reason is, it was, one can actually say it's a blessing in disguise, because particularly Andhra, with dominating this US market for shrimp, we've become complacent. The industry also has become complacent. And so this has actually triggered, for the first time, the industry and the government and the department to look at what are the other alternatives, where are the other markets.
Diversity.
Instead of just US, can we look at the Europe, China, the Southeast, and therefore that happened. Number two, many of the containers which were actually on the way to US, and because of the tariff, it's actually becomes expensive for the importer to import the AP goods. What we have done is the industry diverted those containers to other markets. So some have gone to Europe and some have gone to the other Asian countries. And also, again, for the first time, we are looking at value addition. So cooked shrimp or, which we have not done earlier. We were just, the raw shrimp was actually being exported. So now the industry also is forced to look at the value addition that can be done. And there are markets for cooked shrimp and the other value-added products. So, and that little, strategy that the industry has used actually worked in their favor. Instead of being
at the mercy of
one country. Now, and also recently we had a UK FTA. So, these are the new markets which now need to target. So, of course, it takes time. It's not that easy to move from just one country to another country. But then I think I actually congratulate the industry for, not panicking at that, when that crisis loomed, but they have really, went back to the dressing room, the design room and, changed the strategies, looked at other alternatives. And I think, I wouldn't say we have come out of the woods, but we are on the way out.
And clearly numbers are doing the talking, like you mentioned. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us on this conversation for Business Today, and wishing you great luck for the year to come.
Thank you so much, Karishma.
Thank you, sir.